Guys, so welcome to my Q&A video. Hi Martin. So this is cool. I haven't done this from here. I've done it from you now, but being able to see the whole room I think looks kind of cool. Oh, hello. Everybody's saying hi. Hi. Okay, so in this video today, I'm going to take out a few of the animals, but mostly it's going to be a Q&A to say hi and see what your questions are. I know I get a lot of messages from people who need help with their animals, and unfortunately, I can't answer everybody. But I am trying to do more of these live Q and A's. And then also, I think I'm thinking of adding that join now feature on my channel. So let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. Let's see. Yes, Jojo, you can ask a question. What is going on down here? What is my favorite lizard? Well, I really love all types of geckos. What should I know before I get a corgi? Well, you should know that they are not a little dog. A lot of people confuse them with that. They think that because they're small, they're like a toy breed, and they're not. They're a herding dog, so they require a lot of exercise and training and just a lot of work, but they're a really great dog. Can you make a video on how to properly make and use a raw diet for your animals, please? That's kind of hard. I will try to make more videos about feeding dogs a raw diet, but it's not something that's simple enough to just be able to put into one video and then you know how to do it. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I will try to give out more information about it. Do I recommend a sugar glider for a 12-year-old? Well, you say a sugar glider, um, you have to have more than one. So the first thing to do is to do research. They are an animal that I do not recommend as a kid pet, but that doesn't mean that they might not be the right pet for you. But you need to do research. You're getting a conure. How big should the cage be? That really depends on the species of conure that you're getting. Some species, like green cheek conures, their cage doesn't need to be too big. But for example, there's the sun conure that's a lot bigger and needs a bigger cage. Can you bathe a guinea pig? Yes, you can. In fact, I have a video about how to bathe a guinea pig in my guinea pig playlist. You're thinking of getting another guinea pig, but you don't know you already have two boys. I would not recommend putting another guinea pig in with them because you could only get a male because they would probably fight over female and end up breeding. Unless they were neutered at a young age, then maybe a female would be an option. But if they're not neutered, a female is not an option, and getting another male could really change the dynamics of the group. So I would recommend not getting another one for that group of guinea pigs. If you want to have a different cage with more guinea pigs, then that's definitely possible. What is the cage size requirements for hamsters in the United States? I think it's I want to say 350 square inches is what I want to say it is. I know my last hamster I had in a 600 square inch cage, and I think that was a really good size for him. So I would say get a little bit bigger than the recommended size. Yes, I will be bringing Onyx out. The green bird behind me. Okay, so let's see. This is Cairo. This one up here is Remy. Over there is Barry. And Evan's around here somewhere. Unless he got close in that cage. Yep, the door closed on him in that cage. So let me go open it for him. That's not even his cage. That's Cairo's cage, but he loves to go into the other cages and eat their food. You cannot bathe a chinchilla in water. You should never get your chinchilla wet. They bathe in sand. There was a video going around actually of a chinchilla getting bathed in water. That's my bearded dragon. Can everybody hear that? He's running around on the floor right now and he's making so much noise. Okay, so they were bathing a chinchilla in water, and that's really bad for them. They can get sick very easily. They have sensitive respiratory systems. So, and then besides that, the girl took out a blow dryer and was blow drying the chinchilla. And in the video, you can see that the chinchilla's ears are just bright red. And that means that the chinchilla is being overheated and they can die from that. So that video was like so cringy to watch. Just like, ugh. I just can't believe somebody would do that. And she was very defensive of it too, saying that the chinchilla enjoyed it and it just means she doesn't understand what her chinchilla is communicating. Can you own a ferret in the United States? In some states, you can. It depends where you live. I know that you can't own a ferret in California, but I'm not sure about what other states it's illegal in. Do chinchillas smell? I think very little. What is better, fleece or bedding? Personally, I like bedding better for chinchillas. Um, they just seem to chew a lot on fleece, and I don't like keeping them on fleece. How many toys should I put in the cage for a green cheek conure? So, if you've seen some of my cage tours for my birds, their cage is really stuffed with toys because that's not where they're going to get their exercise. Their cage is where they're going to spend their time when you're not able to let them out, and they're going to have something to do. So, I like to put a ton of toys in their cage, and I let them out for several hours every day where they're able to fly and climb and get all their exercise. So, I think you should have a lot of toys in their cage. I feel like mine are looking kind of empty right now because they've destroyed their toys. Whoa, that's a lot of little piggy faces. Do you recommend a CNC cage for guinea pigs? Yes, that can be a good guinea pig cage. But if you have other animals and it's going to be on the floor, I don't recommend that cage because they can get into it very easily. So I would recommend a cage that's going to be a little bit stronger. But if you don't have other animals that are going to be dangerous to them, then you can get a CNC cage. How old should I be to get a horse? Please tell me. Getting a horse isn't about an age limit. I would recommend that you know a whole lot about horses before buying one for yourself. Whether you're 6 years old or you're 60 years old, you should be going to riding lessons and know how to ride very well before deciding to buy a horse. Can you bathe your sugar gliders in water? No, you shouldn't be bathing your sugar gliders. You really don't need to. Can I make a care video for newborn quail? Yes, I already have one. I think it's in my bird playlist. I'll have to double check about that. I heard you should get new toys every month for your bird. Is that true? Um, that's not really true or or a lie. It just really depends on how quickly your birds go through toys. Remy, my small cockatiel, has toys for like a really long time. She isn't really able to destroy them very quickly. But Barry really, just really destroys his toys, so he has to have new ones very often. So it really depends on your bird. You can't have a time limit on it. There's all birds are not going to be the same. Yes, you can bathe a ferret in water. You should bathe your ferret like maybe 2 to 4 times a year. What if someone said your guinea pig can't be with another guinea pig? That depends on who said it. A lot of times, pet store people are like, "Oh no, it can't be with other guinea pigs," and they don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes people that rehome guinea pigs say that in order to, make up an excuse as to why they had it alone. Um, like I've said, any guinea pig who can't be with another guinea pig should be in a cage next to a guinea pig. Is it okay to house two bearded dragons together? No, they're really not social, so I would say don't house them together. Should chinchillas have wood to chew on? Yes, they should. What is better for a hedgehog, fleece or bedding? So for hedgehogs, I actually like fleece. I'm able to keep my hedgehogs a lot cleaner on fleece. I don't really like using bedding for them. I have used both, and I've been using fleece for a long time. I really like it. The comments go really fast. Sorry about that. How many guinea pigs can you have in a living world cage extra large? You can have up to 2 guinea pigs in that cage. After that, it's just too small. Do you need a big tank or a bowl for goldfish? Goldfish should never be kept in a bowl. You should always have a tank with a filter and just do water testings, things like that. With a bowl too, a lot of people think that the way you clean a fish tank is you just dump all the water out, wash it, and put new water, and then put your fish back in. That's like detrimental to fish. You need to have a tank where you do water changes, where you change out like 20% of the water, put new water in, but you're not shocking your fish's system every time. Goldfish actually have a 15-year lifespan, and they hardly ever reach that because so many people think that if they kept their goldfish alive for 6 months in a bowl of water, they did a good thing. And the truth is that they didn't do any research and weren't able to keep their fish alive for its lifespan. So you need to have a tank that's the right size for your goldfish. Usually they need about 40 gallons. So don't keep goldfish in small little things. It's not good for them. What size tank can you have for 5 leopard geckos? All the leopard geckos should probably be housed individually, so 20-gallon for each, I guess. Do you groom your own dogs at home? Yeah, I used to take my dogs to the groomers, but I've just kind of been getting in the habit of doing it at home all the time. Caspian used to go to the groomers on a regular basis, but since I'm not using the service dog anymore, I haven't really been taking him. I've just been washing him at home. How many birds do I have? I have a lot. Let's see. How many do I have in this room? I have one. Let's see. One cockatiel, two green sheep conures, berry. So that's four. With the two parakeets. So that's six, and then three canaries. So it's nine. Two peacocks right here on the floor. So yeah, I have a lot of birds in here, and then I have a lot more birds outside. Okay, I'm trying to read some comments. Um, do I still have Pest the gerbil? No, he died a long time ago, actually. I think it's already been like maybe a year and a half. Let's see. It's easier to like control comments from here. I was doing this like on my tablet before. How many snakes do I have? I have two ball pythons, onyx, and jasper. Should my rat be in a tank or a wire cage? Um, okay, so there's a lot of problems with that question. You need to go and watch rat videos, rat care videos. I have several rat care videos on my channel. Based on that question, I know you haven't watched a single one. There's also Rat Girl 44 who makes tons of rat videos, really good stuff. There's even the Rat Guru. There's a lot of resources here on YouTube for you to be finding out information about pet rats. So the first problem is, should my rat? So you only have one rat. Well, why do you only have one rat? Rats are incredibly social animals. They should never be kept alone. Should they be kept in a tank or a wire cage? A tank causes respiratory problems in rats. It's also incredibly unsuitable. Rats climb a lot. They, explore their environment. You cannot set up a good cage inside of a tank for a rat. So they should never be in a tank. And also, just please, please go do some research about pet rats. I'm just really, I get so surprised by how many people comment questions on my videos, which I want you guys to ask questions, but I also want you to go out and do research for yourself. That's why I make tons of care videos about animals. That's why a lot of other YouTubers make videos about animals, is so that you have resources available to you. So we do encourage you to come and ask questions, but don't get a pet and then wait for a live stream and hope that I get to see your question and give you the answer after you're already taking care of that pet and you're already making tons of mistakes. There's just so much resources that you can go to. You can go to my channel and you can look at the playlists. In the playlist, there's a care video playlist, so you can scroll through it and find the animal that you're looking for. There's playlists for each animals. So there's playlists for guinea pigs, playlists for rats, all kinds of stuff like that. And you don't have to just use my channel. There's tons of videos about animals here on YouTube. So there's just so much resource available to you, and also just Googling that, I shouldn't be getting so many questions that are from people who have done absolutely zero research. So I really want you guys to be able to ask me questions, but I also want you to just take advantage of what you have in front of you. I know that there's tons of kids watching that have smartphones and tablets and all of that. And so that's just it. There's not an excuse anymore to not know how to take care of a pet. And if you want to get a certain type of pet, you have to do research on it. So I guess that was kind of a long rant, but just please research for your pets. Mm, let's see, where are we? Let's try to answer some more questions. What are my corgis' names? My corgis' names are Clark, that's the dad, Luna, the mom, and the two that I have are Rowan and Bruce. And then they also had a bunch of other puppies with lots of cute names. There's Darcy and Ella and Sparky. You can watch actually the whole playlist about them in my Christmas vlogs. Do I plan on doing meet and greets? I do meet and greets. I did a meet and greet last month in Denver. Can I do a do it yourself cat cardboard house video? That would be fun. I don't know if I like, I don't know if I would even know how to build one of those, but that does sound like fun. How do you tell if your rat has a respiratory infection? So you can tell if your rat has a respiratory infection because they'll have a lot of discharge on their face, on their nose, their eyes, and they will sneeze a lot, continuously sneezing. I had one rat that would, she would get that because she actually died from cancer, but she had a lot of issues in her face. And so she would sometimes get that problem. She was just more prone to it because of all the issues that she had going on there. Do I ever think about working in a zoo? I think I wouldn't have the time because I have like my own zoo here at home. Um, do I have any rabbits? Yes, I have two rabbits. I don't have African land snails. It would be really cool to be able to have those, but here in the United States, we're not allowed to. How old are you? I am 26. What do you do if your leopard gecko tail falls off? There's not really much you can do. They're not going to have that, storage of fat. So just, make sure that you feed them often so that you can help them when their body's trying to use all that energy to regenerate the tail. So I would just try to feed them more. Would you have a tarantula? I would. I think the tarantulas are neat. I don't have any issues with them, but I just have never felt drawn to them, like drawn to having one as a pet, which is why I don't have one, but they are cool. I think the biggest reason, like for me, that I would want to have one is just to be able to help other people get over their fear of spiders. I think that it's like a pop culture type of thing to just be afraid of spiders, and it's not something that people really are afraid of. It's just something that they hear constantly, that they get into their head. And I would like for people to understand spiders and be more respectful of them, and that would be my reason probably to get a tarantula if I ever did. Hi, Barry. Good boy, Barry. Ow. How many times a week do you bathe your dog? So I bathe all my dogs once a week. Clark, I bathe twice a week, but that is vet recommended. You should only bathe as often as once a week, unless your vet tells you something different. No, you cannot keep a budgie and a cockatiel in the same cage. Okay, so I'm gonna be streaming for probably about 7 more minutes. So I wanted to take out one of the snakes. Let's see how Onyx is doing. He was on his heating pad, so he's all nice and toasty. How do you house your rabbits? I house my rabbits outside. They actually have a yard that they live in. They're able to make tunnels and things like that and stay out of the heat or cold whenever it gets hot. I don't know why Onyx isn't being super friendly today. Don't you want to come out and say hi? What's going on? He's usually very good about coming out of his ball, so we'll see. What was that? I think something just like fell. I have a banana ball python. That is awesome. Jasper's a banana ball python. Yes, it's okay that you keep your rabbits inside. Your rabbit leans to one side. Should you be worried? Yeah, that does sound really strange. I would take him to the vet and see if there's some sort of problem going on. If you have no pet, what would you be doing working on? If I didn't have a pet, what would I be doing? I guess I'd probably be concentrating more on art. But actually, I think the real answer to the question is I would be trying to get a pet if I didn't have one. Are you going to come out and say hi, Onyx? Why are you being grumpy? Um, can chinchilla stay outside in a cage under sun? It depends on where you live. If the temperature goes over about 74 degrees, your chinchilla is going to have a heat stroke. Oh, thank you, Shannon. She says, I love your hair. Alexa, I do have one leopard gecko. My sister told me if you have more than two dogs, they would turn into a pack and won't listen to you as their alpha anymore and lean more towards the dog with a bad behavior as their alpha. Is that true? Well, I have six dogs and I can take all of them to the park without leashes, and each one listens individually. They're all incredibly well trained. So, not true at all. Let's see. I was looking for a question. Um, do I use Copic markers? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry. Let me look up. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I didn't know that's what they were called. I do have a set of those markers. They're really cool. How do you cope with so many animals? Do you have enough time in a day to spend with them one on one? Uh, well, if you go through the All My Pets video, you have to understand that even though there's tons of pets, they're not all dogs. And I feel like I get asked that question a lot coming from someone who's only familiar with dogs and those types of animals. There's some pets that need a lot of attention, like the birds, that I do have to interact with. But there's a lot of animals that want nothing to do with me. For example, obviously the fish, they don't want anything to do with me. They're just for being able to look at. There's other animals like the alpacas and things like that that they don't want the type of attention that a dog does. So you have to kind of think about it that way. I am able to give all the animals the attention that they want and that they require. But that doesn't mean that they all want individual time spent to be focused on them. For example, also my rabbits. My rabbits are rescues. They come from people who had them as pets and didn't like them as pets because they didn't really like a lot of human interaction. And so they come up to me and they're very friendly, but they are just very, please stop chewing on that. They don't want me to actually be physically interacting with them. Let's see. Questions. What's my favorite sport or activity? I guess horseback riding. That's a really fun activity. I also love swimming. Can I give a more in-depth explanation on rat's respiratory infection? About the symptoms of the respiratory infection? This, like I said, the symptoms are a lot of coughing, sneezing, just discharge around the eyes, mouth, nose area. Uh, Small animals like that are prone to it if they're not kept in ideal situations. Why won't my leopard gecko eat? I have no idea. You would have to observe what's going on with your gecko. Is your gecko full? Some people think that reptiles want to eat every day. They do not. They want to eat a couple times a week at most. Is your leopard gecko refusing to eat because it's impacted? Does it have the right humidity, heating temperatures, and all of that? Is it able to digest its food by using a warm spot? There's other things like could it be sick? Could it be egg bound and not being able to lay eggs and therefore refusing food? So I'm not sure why your leopard gecko is not eating. There's a lot of different issues that could be going on with it. So the first thing you'd probably want to start with is making sure that you're doing all the right husbandry and taking care of it correctly. What pets do you used to have that you don't have anymore? Well, I do have one rat left, and I won't have any more rats, just because they are so prone to health problems that I don't want to go through that anymore. Another type of animal that is very prone to health problems are ferrets. I think that ferrets here in the United States are overbred. They are neutered and spayed at a very young age when they're just, a few weeks old. And I think that that's leading to a lot of health problems in them because a lot of their health problems come from hormonal issues that come from being spayed and neutered at a young age. So, ferrets, rats, those are animals that I would never have again. What pets would you recommend for a small apartment? I think that like hedgehogs are probably a good pet for a small apartment. They don't need a lot of space. They're very quiet. Let's see. Fish. They're also, easier to contain. You don't have to get something huge. You can look for different types of fish, like betta fish, that only require a 10-gallon. Let's see what else. A lot of reptiles like geckos, snakes, things like that. You can, keep them in a tank. They're not going to make a lot of noise. I think that having things like birds in an apartment isn't always a good idea because they can be very loud. So I would look for something that doesn't require a lot of space, is relatively quiet, and is also maybe something that's not going to be messy and destroy your apartment. Oh, yes, Carlos, this is my snake. It looks like, I don't know, a weird pretzel, but that's my snake. Would you like to show your face? That's it. That's its nose right there. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching my live stream. I am thinking of adding the join now to my channel, and in that would be just members only would get a live Q&A once a week. So let me know if that's something that you guys might be interested in. The join now also is just to promote and support your favorite channels on YouTube. So if you don't know too much about that yet, definitely look it up. It's like a new membership